timing your INNOVA. It's probably best if you remove your quilt from the frame, but if it's too much work at this point, or you've completed a lot of the work on your quilt, you can also get access by just moving the INNOVA over to the side where you have some open space. Step one, we need to make sure that the needle bar is at its highest position and out of the way. Step two, we need to take the needle plate off. You can use an old needle to get the needle plate out. You now have the machine exposed. The hook assembly is the shiny steel rotating member that you see. This entire assembly is called the hook assembly, and this tip here is called the hook point, and that is what we'll be timing into the needle. The piece to the outside here, this is called the position finger, and it needs to be set correctly also. Next step will be to set the height of the needle bar, and to do that we need to loosen up the screws holding your front faceplate, and then lift the plate up and pull it forward to remove it, laying it carefully on the bottom side of the machine. Now we want to put the needle bar down to its lowest position. Rock it back and forth to make sure it's actually at the bottom position. When it's at the bottom position, the slotted needle bar clamp screw becomes visible in the notch in the needle bar frame assembly. Break that screw loose one full turn. The needle bar down as far as it will go into the bobbin case, exposing the full eye. Then slowly raise it up until you can see half of an eye. Just wait. And make sure that the needle bar is rotated so that it is still straight and square. The final view should look like this. Now lock up the needle bar clamp screw. This needs to be man tight. Now turn the hand wheel so that you can get to the two black screws in the back of the hook. Break this first screw loose. Then turn the hand wheel to find the second screw. Now this screw we break loose and then lightly re-snug. The object here is to get enough tension on the screw to hold its position but not so much tension on the screw that we can't make it slip. Then lightly re-snug the screw with just 2 fingers on the screwdriver. Turn in the hand wheel. Rotate the needle bar till it's at its lowest position. From the lowest position, continue to come up just a little bit until the hook point is approaching the needle. Then hold on to the hook and slip the hook while you raise the needle bar up so that the hook point is just above the eye of the needle at the bottom of the scarf. And this should be your final view, hook point entering the bottom of the scarf. When the timing is right, you need to also check to make sure that the needle is brushed by the hook point as it passes by. This one is hitting a little bit too hard. So take your screwdriver and use the handle to tap on the bobbin case. A little bit more. It's a little bit too far. Take your screwdriver, use it as a pry bar behind the hook and move it out. Moved it too much, so take it back a little bit. So just lightly brushing the needle. Once you have that position set, rotate the needle a little bit more, turning the hook, and lightly lock up the first screw. And then go around and check it one more time. Making sure your position is still the same. And if everything looks good, rotate it around again, a little bit more to get to the second screw. Then you can back it up, put some more snugness on that first screw. These have to be man tight. So for you ladies, try to enlist somebody with strong hands, but if you can't, put some effort into it. The tighter they are, the less likely it is to slip. Thing to check before closing up the machine after timing is to make sure that the position finger, which is in front holding the basket, is set far enough away. This one is a little bit too close because when we loosened up the hook and tapped its adjustment to the needle, we actually moved the hook up against the position finger. So loosening up the screw, which is on one side, the right side of the position finger bracket, then we can move the position finger out. Pretty much as far out as you can go, as long as the basket does not break loose of the position finger. And then tighten the black screw, which is again on the right side. Tighten it up good and tight. And now you're ready to close the machine up. Now continue to raise the needle bar up the rest of the way. Put your needle plate back on. Put your screws back in. When assembling your needle plate, make sure you have the concave holes up on the top so that the screws can fit flush. Then slip your plate back.